Do you know how to inexpensively upgrade your bike's drivetrain to make it pedal better? In this video, that's exactly what I'm gonna do. I'll be upgrading pretty much everything on this N7's drivetrain to make it pedal more efficiently and make it climb so much better. And I'm doing all of that on the cheap. In this video series, I set myself a challenge to upgrade this Colossus N7 with less than $1,000 and see if I can get it feeling as good as my N9 dream build. So here's a recap of what I did on the bike so far. I've upgraded the wheels and hubs, gone tubeless, added a Cush core trail in the back, as well as some lighter and faster rolling tires. For the brakes, I did metal brake pads for a better bite, a 4-piston caliper in the rear, and put Shimano levers on a Tektro system. These TechMono brakes actually feel really good, and they bite so much harder than what came stock on the bike. For this episode, I was able to get a bunch of parts that I think will make a big difference on the drivetrain of this N7. But here's what it's up against. The N9 has a 12-speed Shimano XT cassette, a 12-speed Shimano Hyperglide chain, XT cranks, and a 30-tooth oval chainring. And for shifting, I'm using the SRAM GX Axis wireless derailleur and shifter. This match made in heaven gives me the reliability of the Shimano parts and that super crisp shifting of the wireless axis. If you haven't tried SRAMANO before, give it a whirl. You might fall in love too. At retail, the drivetrain on the N9 costs just a little under $800, but I don't have that kind of cash for the N7. So let's slap on these new parts on the N7 and take it out to the test loop to see if it pedals just as well as my N9. The main issue I've found so far is that this N7 doesn't come with a chain guide. On my very first ride, I dropped the chain and had to stop to put it on. This took a beating on my time, and this is not gonna happen again. Luckily, it's a super cheap and easy fix. This Amazon chain guide costs only 13 bucks and it mounts directly to the ISCG tabs on the N7's frame. I found this lightly used 12-speed Shimano cassette on the buy and sell for 50 bucks to replace the heavier Sunrace one. The cassette's a little dirty but got very little wear, so I just gave it a clean and slapped it on. There we go, so much better. Some of you keeners out there may have seen that I installed this cassette earlier when I did the wheels. That's because these XT hubs came with a microspline body and I had to swap out the cassette prematurely. But thanks for calling me out on it. While we're talking about Shimano, I got a new Shimano Hyperglide chain to replace the KMC one. There's nothing wrong with the way the KMC chain shifts, it works very well, but I always found that it adds just a little bit of resistance in the drivetrain. Matching all Shimano parts in the drivetrain gives me the absolute best possible efficiency when it comes to climbing and accelerating up to speed. Speaking of efficiency, have you guys ever tried an oval chainring? These make a huge difference on rounding out your pedal strokes and getting the most power out of your legs. Trust me, I need all the help I can get when it comes to climbing, and this has made a huge difference. I had this 32-tooth oval chainring from Absolute Black in the parts bin. Let's hope it fits and it clears the frame. As for shifting, there's absolutely nothing wrong with the Shimano Deore derailleur and shifter on this bike. They shift super smoothly, they're reliable and robust. There's also nothing wrong with the Shimano cranks and bottom bracket. All of these components can stay. All right, all set. Let's take the N7 and the newly upgraded drivetrain to the test loop and see if I can shave a couple seconds off the climb. Okay, so my best time climbing so far was 2 weeks ago when I put the new tires on and went tubeless. I was able to set a time of 11 minutes and 4 seconds, but that's nowhere close to the time I set on the N9 of 10 minutes and 31 seconds. So let's see if I can beat that time today. Okay, changes to the drivetrain. We've got the 32-tooth oval chainring, chain guide, keep the chain on, Shimano chain, Hyperglide, and Shimano cassette. So now the whole drivetrain Shimano. All right, changes to the drivetrain. Let's do it. Go. One thing's for sure, if you guys haven't tried them yet, the oval rings just really smooth out your pedal strokes. I'm never kind of like catching up to my chain or anything like that. It's just super smooth and it feels like I can put power down, not just on the downstroke, but on the side stroke as well. It's weird, hard to explain. Go, power down. No matter how small the chainring is, I always feel like I kind of want a smaller one. I had a 28 tooth on my Meta a few years ago, and that was pretty awesome.
could just sit up straight and just spin your legs. It would just slowly take you up the hill. Let's go, push it, push it. And time. No way. 10:27. I did it. Beat my target time. This thing is turning into a little mountain goat. Well, I wouldn't go that far, but comparing it to the 41-pound stock form, this thing is night and day now when it comes to climbing. All the upgrades I've done on this bike so far have totally changed the way it rides. I don't know if the upgrades we did this week will have any effect on the descent, but this trail is so much fun. Check this out. And wait, what? 3:08? That was even faster than last week's 3:12. I guess the oval ring is making a difference to the acceleration. Also riding the same trail every week, I'm getting to know it very good, and I'm memorizing all the turns and every section where I can make up speed. I'm getting so close to my goal, and this bike is starting to feel really good. Okay, back to the shop. In the next episode, I finally fixed what this bike feels like to hold on to. I have so many blingy bits to put on, and some of these will do wonders to fit my riding style. Speaking of style, what color would look good on this bike? How about sag-ring orange? Or is it red? Nah, it's orange. Can we just skip to next week right now?